Well, hi, here we are again in Dory's Gardens where inspiration awaits beyond the lavender gate. So we have watched this garden go through a transition for several months now, and it is time to plant the summer flowers. Caladiums are one of my favorites, and it's a great location for them here because it's shady most of the day. So I'm going to show you what I do in my process in my own garden, how I plant and design just on the go. So first though, Michelle, I'd love for you to look at these different caladiums here, the varieties. And caladiums are a wonderful way to add a pop of color into your garden if you've got some shade or partial shade. And you can also put some in the sun. They've bred some that take the sun. And what's so interesting, I did not know this, is that the name means angel wing or heart of Jesus. So no wonder I love them, because they are one of my favorites. They're just classy. They work around a pool, in pots, in your garden, wherever. So explore those, and I'll talk a little bit more about them as we get going here. So first of all, you can see down here the snaps have gone off. And so these are really a special one. I love this lavender color. You don't see them often. So I'm going to give them a chance to survive. So I'm just going to nip them for a while. The greenery still looks good. So I'm going to deadhead those guys. See, that still looks nice. But our little pansies, their little faces are kind of looking sad. So I'm going to go ahead and pull those out with a wonderful cobra head. All right. Get that dug out. We're a little bit dry here. This snap is kind of hanging down, so he's going to have to go away. So we're making a nice palette here to pop in some more color. And I'll move a little bit quicker here. You don't need to be watching me pulling plants all day. So we can just start on this little end here. See how it's nice and shady. And so the darker colors are not going to show up so well. And I was going to put in some pinks or some reds, but Laurel, thank you. When we were at the nursery yesterday, she says, "Oh, I just love these." And I do too. They are just a bright white face, and so they will look so good in the shade. Let me get these up here. Okay, so typically what I do before I plant a plant, I dip it in Dory's dip, which is the mixture of this and that and everything good. So you can come and get that in the shop. But what it does is it completely hydrates and it fertilizes the plant. Caladiums don't need much fertilizer, so it's more about the hydration. I'll get these little pentas out of the way. So you take some kind of tub where you can be able to submerge the flat where the plant completely so the air bubbles come out. So here we go. We'll see if this will fit. So we did this with the vegetable garden, remember, we were dipping them. So they're really soaking it up now because it's starting to get hot out here. And then I'll just drain it off on the corner there, save some of the good stuff, and here we go, we'll get started. So drop that down to the ground. Don't worry about your knees getting dirty. That's what washing machines are for, or get a knee pad if you have tender knees. And squish, squish, squish. Put them in there and we can drop them way back in here. So see, you dig it with my cobra head. Space them about 4 to 6 inches because they're gonna get taller and the clumps are gonna get bigger too. A lot of times they're called corms. No, I'm sorry, they're tubers instead of corms. So that's what they grow off of, tubers. So they're hidden in there. There could be some life that hasn't popped up yet. So we'll just put that in there and we'll straighten up this guy. And you watch how this just turns into a lovely garden. And I need my helper to pick up all my cuts because I am a very messy cook. So go there, we just throw them everywhere. Makes it more fun that way. Flamboyant gardener here. Okay, and oh, I wanted to thank Tina for my lovely new dress. I told her I would wear it in my next video, so thank you, Tina. I do love it. And it goes good with my hat. So here we go. So, of course, I do love the white. It keeps things cool, looks classy, but I don't know, I just can't resist putting some color in there. So these pentas, these have gotten really too tall for their little 4-inch cut, but they'll be fine. So when they get a little too tall to sell, guess where they get to go? In my garden. So they will also create a little bit of shade if by chance the early morning sun starts to get too hot here. They will give it some shade. So remember I talked about that before. Let another plant give shade to the other. So we're gonna pop this right in here. I still have a lot of good mulch in here. I'll probably come back and put a little bit more after I water it in. So we've got that and that. And a lot of times you can go in a row, but that looks a little bit static. So what you do is you put one in between a little bit forward, and then it really fills in the space and you get this thick. Instead of going 1, 2, 3 right close to each other, kind of do a zigzag pattern. So that's a good little tip. Now the caladiums I just put back in a row because they're so free form, they're just gonna do their own thing anyways. So what do you think? You liking that, Michelle?
Looks beautiful.
Yeah. So it's got my lavender color. Now if I really wanted to, I could pop some vincas in here, but I've noticed the vincas don't like it here so much because they really love the hot sun. And I just don't get that here. So look at how just, that little part there makes a big difference. The old stuff, the new stuff. And how long did that take? 3-4 minutes. So you can change the whole landscape of your garden quickly when you have all your things together. Just get down there, dig it up, make it beautiful, and these will go all the way to the fall. And then what's so great about caladiums too is that you can dig them up before it gets cold and save their little tubers and keep them dry. I'm soaking these so they'll get a jump start. But they're just these little gnarly things, and life will come out of there. So you can have your caladiums for years and years. You just let them dry for a couple of weeks, shake off the dirt. A lot of people will put them in peat moss or an old nylon stocking if anybody has those anymore. Or those netting bags that you get at the grocery store with tangerines in them, save those. And then hang them up so critters can't get in there, in your garage or a closet or somewhere where it's kind of cool but not freezing. So that's a good tip too. So they're a great investment. They're a little bit pricier than the other bedding plants, but again, they're a perennial, and we love that because perennial means through the years, and so we will have them through the years. So I hope that gave you some good ideas of what to do in your shady areas and explore the world of caladiums. There's, I can't remember, I think 2,000 different varieties. And they are native to Central and South America, but they're all over the world now. And you cannot really grow them inside. People try, but they only have a certain amount of life in them for their leaf, and then they have to rest about 5 months. So just let them rest so they can come out full and strong in the spring. Also, another interesting thing is that they are part of the elephant ear family. A lot of people have called them elephant ear, but this is more of an elephant ear. You can see it's the same shaped leaf. It's just a bigger plant. Typically, they don't have all the colors like a caladium does. Once in a while, too, you get this bloom. It's kind of nondescript, kind of looks like a calla lily, but it's really fragrant. And that, of course, is the reproductive part of the plant. So a lot of people think we should cut those off so more life goes into the roots, but I just like to let it do its own thing. I mean, that's what it wants to do, is to have a bloom, let it have a bloom. And then it's a nice point of interest. So again, happy gardening, and until next time, just enjoy what God's given you out here to grow.